Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Honor to him, the blessed one, the worthy one, the fully enlightened one. My utmost respect to the perfectly enlightened Samma Sambuddha, the noble doctrine of the Buddha, and the noble Mahasangha, the disciples of the Buddha. Hello everyone, welcome to Sutta Study Series, under which we discuss these days about the Majjhima Nikaya Suttas, and today we are going to start word by word translation and along with the Atthakatha and other references to study in detail about one of the most popular, prominent, and a very, very important sutta to all of us. And that is Majjhima Nikaya 10 Satipatthana Sutta. So, in the Satipatthana Sutta, we also have a very important discussion about the Dhamma. So in this discussion, we also can understand when we were chanting last time, actually the Satipatthana Sutta, and that time we also recognize how important is this really, really wonderful sutta. And when we were reading the sutta, every time we read the details of the sutta, it was so amazing. So, Majjhima Nikaya, without going too much into those details, I will. I also want to let you know that it will take some time, much more time than we think, but it is worth the study of this wonderful sutta. And I also have sent the link of this discussion study material, so you can check in the YouTube channel. So in this sutta we have contemplation of the body and contemplation of feeling, contemplation of consciousness, and contemplation of mental objects. So these are the four Satipatthanas. The Buddha says here, Ekayano ayam bhikkhave maggo Satipatthana Sattanang Visuddhiya. Ekayano ayam bhikkhave maggo Sattanang Visuddhiya. Soka pariddavanang samatikkamaya. Dukkha domanassanang atthangamaya. Nyayasa adigamaya. Nibbanasa sachikiriyaya. Yadidan chattaro Satipatthana. So, this Satipatthana Sutta is the path of purification of all sentient beings, of Sattanam, and it will also eliminate the sorrow, lamentation, and it will also abandon the dukkha and discontent, and it will help us acquire the true method and the realization of the Nibbana. So the Satipatthanas are given here as 4 Satipatthanas. That is the Kaya-anupassana, Vedana-anupassana, and Chitta-anupassana, and Dhamma-anupassana. So these are the 4 Satipatthanas. Mainly the entire sutta deals with this, But when we go through this, we will see almost whatever we want to know about the Dhamma will be there right here in this really, really wonderful sutta. So I will try my best to see how we can do something about this sutta, how to discuss this about this sutta. So under the contemplation of the body, mindfulness of breathing, the postures of the body, and the mindfulness with clear comprehension, the reflection on the repulsiveness of the body, and the reflection on the material elements, the 9 cemetery contemplations are discussed under the topic of the contemplation of the body. And under the contemplation of feeling, we talk about the Vedana, and then contemplation of consciousness, that is about the Chitta, and then Dhamma is mental objects. And there we can also learn the 5 hindrances, the 5 aggregates of clinging, the 6 internal and external sense bases, the 7 factors of enlightenment, and 4 noble truths. These are, again, really important things that we can learn. Once we learn these things, no wonder the Buddha has said that this sutta will lead us to the Nibbana. Ekayano maggo ayam bhikkhave satto magganang visuddhya. We were chanting this sutta last time, and it took 2 hours to chant this entire sutta, but it was so wholesome and so wonderful when I was chanting this. So let's get started, and we'll see how it goes. And if you have any questions, you can also please discuss in the comment section, and so we can also discuss more. Quickly. Okay. Right. So, Evang me sutang ekang samayang bhagava savathyang viherati kammasa dhammang nama kuru nang nigamo tatra ko bhagava bhikko amante se bhikkavoti badante tite bhikku bhagavato pachasosung bhagava etadavocha. This is the first paragraph that we are going to discuss. Thus, I have heard on one occasion the Blessed One was living in the Kuru country at a town of the Kurus named Kammasa Dhamma. There he addressed the monks thus: "Monks, Venerable Sir," they replied, "the Blessed One said this." Okay, so this is the breakup. Evang me sutang, thus have I heard. Evang means thus, me by me, sutang, heard. Ekang samayang, one time, Bhagava, the Blessed One, Kurusu, in the Kurus, it is in the Kuru country. Viharati, lives, and Kammasa Dhammang Nama, the name, namely Kammasa Dhamma, that is the name of the Nigama, or the city. Kurunang Nigamo of Kurus. Okay, so on the occasion, the Blessed One was living in the Kuru country at a town of the Kurus named Kammasa Dhamma. So, this one, Kuru country, is in modern day Delhi, somewhere in that area. I actually had the a wonderful opportunity to visit a place in Delhi where there was an Ashokan rock edicts, and there it is also said to be the place where the Buddha preached the Satipatthana Sutta. And Kurus, there is actually also a university in Delhi called Kurukshetra University. And Kuru or Kauravas are famous, and they have a very long history. Lot of stories are there in traditional Indian literature regarding the Kuru or Kauravas. And Kurus are also supposed to be very intelligent and smart people. And so the Buddha somehow, maybe due to some reason, he has decided to go to the Kuru country to teach this Dhamma. And in that, when we say Nigama, Gama, when we say it is the village, but when we say Nigama, that is, or Nigama, that means a bigger village, a kind of a city. So Buddha was living there, and so this is little bit a rare place that the Buddha was teaching the Dhamma. Such an important teaching. We need to also think why he was teaching Dhamma there. And Tatrako Bhagava Bhikkhu Amantesi, they are the Blessed One addressed the monks. And Tatra means there. Bhagava, the Blessed One, Bhikkhu, monks, Amantesi, addressed. And Ko is also just an indeclinable word, kind of a feeling. Bhagavat Bhikkhavo iti, he addressed monks thus as monks. Bhadante, venerable sir, or Bhante, iti, thus, te bhikkhu, those monks, Bhagavato, to the Blessed One, Pacha Sosung, replied. And Bhagava, the Blessed One, etad avocha, or etang avocha, we can also say actually etang avocha. Etang avocha becomes etad avocha, said thus. So there is nothing much here to discuss. Actually, in the Atthakatha, we do have a lot of information about this Kammasa Dhamma, the sutta here. Let's see, Sutta Pitaka Majjhima Nikaya. Okay, and Mola Pariyaya, the last one is yeah, this is the Satipatthana Sutta-1. Over here, we do have some information about the long story of the Kurus and some other things too. So about the Kammasa Dhamma, and so different stories. I think I don't need to go too much into this, because I think it is better to discuss more about the other important Dhamma matters here. But if needed, we will definitely come back, and also we can go to the other Tipitaka contents to discuss more about that. And then Ekayano ayang bhikkhave maggo sattanang visuddhya soka pariddavanang samatikkamaya dukkha domanassanang attangamaya nyayasa adhigamaya nibbanasa satchikiriyaya yadidang chattaro satipatthana. And the monks, this is the direct path for the purification of beings, for the surmounting of sorrow and lamentation, for the disappearance of dukkha and discontent, for acquiring the true method, for the realization of nibbana, namely the 4 satipatthānas. And over here, ekayano ayang bhikkhave. So ekayano maggo. So this ekayano is an adjective of this word maggo. Ekayano maggo, only or direct path, only path or direct path. Ayang, so this is the direct path, or this is the only way. Maggo ayang bhikkhave, or monks. Sattanang visuddhya, of the beings, of all humans, or whosoever. Visuddhya, suddhi means cleaning or purifying. So when we say visuddhi, it becomes even more very special. Even in vipassana, we have that word vipassana. When we say vipassana, it's also something to do with that. So something more, very special, specific cleansing. So purification, for the purification of Buddha beings. Visuddhya, for the purification, sattana, of beings. Soka paridhavana. So over here in the Chatta Sanghayana, they also mention in other texts, paridhavana is also there. So soka paridevanam is another word that we have in the Chatta Sanghayana. So I think in Sinhala Tipitaka, we do have in the Sri Lankan Buddha Jayanti text, that Pali book, we have paridhavana. So soka paridevanam or soka paridhavanam samatikkamaya, for the surmounting of sorrow and lamentation. So soka and parideva. Soka is one word, parideva is another. Soka is kind of sorrow, and parideva is lamenting. And in order to get rid of that, samatikkamaya, overcome that, samatikkamati, to overcome that. So this ekayana magga will be very helpful. And then dukkha domanassanam attangamaya. So here dukkha and domanasa. So for the disappearance of dukkha and discontent. So dukkha is really again a very important term. People in the West, they suffer, translate it in so many ways. Some say distress, some say dissatisfaction, some say suffering, and all those translations are there. It is very difficult to give a proper translation to a word of this magnitude. This is one of the most key important terms in Buddhism. So anyway, so dukkha and domanasa, let's say if there is, as domanasa is there, domana is something definitely to do with the mental suffering. And if we say dukkha as the physical suffering, so this both sufferings are there, mental suffering and physical suffering. Attangamaya, again, disappearance, for the disappearance of dukkha and discontent. If I quickly go, let me see. So, ekayano maggo bhikkave, ekayano ayam. Maybe I can make it a little bigger. Right. So, ekayano ayam bhikkave maggo. Kasma bhagava idang suttam abhase. This is the Attakatha commentary. Kururattavasinang gambhira desana patiggahana samattataya kururattavasino kira bhikkhu bhikkhuniya bhikkhuniyo upasaka upasikayo utupacchayadi sampannata tassa rattassa sappayutta pacchaya sevanena niccang kalla sarira kalla chitta chahonti. So this talks about the kurus. I think I want to know ekayano ayam bhikkave maggo. So tena tesang bhagava imang gambhira desana patiggahana samattatang sampassanto ekavisatiya. So thanesu kammattanang arahatte pakkhipittva idang gambhiratang satipatthana suttang abhasito. So because Gambhira Sutta, this is a very profound sutta, and these people in Kuru country, they were also very intelligent and smart. So the Buddha explained this sutta. Ekavisati athanesu kammattananang. So so objects of meditation. Ekavisati means 21. In 21 places we do have this object of meditation. So he included all these arahatte pakkhipittva, including in the arahanthood. This profound sutta was preached by the Buddha. And then yatai puriso suvanna chanko takang labhitva tatta nana puppani pakkhipeya. So those suvanna manjusangva pana labhitva sattaratanani pakkhipeya evam bhagava kururattavasi parisang labhitva gambhira desanang desesi. Oh, this means so when somebody gets a golden treasure, so there somebody will have lay a lot of various flowers, and when somebody gets a golden box, he will also have sattaratanani pakkhipeya. Inside that he will have 7 jewels. Evam bhagava kururatta vasi parisang labhitva. Like this, the Blessed One, having received these people in the Kuru country, this Gambhira Desanande says, he preached this Gambhira or profound Dhamma. Okay, so Tenevat Anyepi Gambhirathani Digani. Okay, so apart from the Satipatthana Sutta, Mahanidana Sutta, another very profound sutta, also was preached here. Mahasatipatthana Sutta also is in Digha Nikaya. So in Digha Nikaya, there are 2 suttas. The Buddha preached those 2 very special, profound suttas to the Kurus. And in the Majjhima Nikaya also we have the Satipatthana Sutta. It is actually almost the same thing. Imasming Majjhima Nikaye Saropamang Rukkupamang Rattapalang Magandhyang, Anenja Sappayan Niti Anyanipi Suttani Desai. So in the Kururata, the Buddha also has preached some other sutta, Saropama Sutta, Rukupama Sutta, Rattapala Sutta, Magandhya Sutta, and Anenja Sappaya Sutta. These are suttas from Majjhima Nikaya, and we will find them later on. I'm still trying to find why it is called Ekayano Maggo. Okay, so Ekayanati Ekamaggo. Ekayana means one path. Maggasahi Maggo Panto Pato Pajjo. So this is about the same different ways to explain the Magga. And Ekayano ayam bhikkave maggoti etta eka maggo. Ayam bhikkave maggo na dvedha pata bhutoti eva matho dattabbo. So there are no two ways, only one way. That is why it is called Ekayano. Ekenati ganha sanganikang pahaya upakattena pavivitta chittena. So this is also very important for the practitioners who want to have a very clear and very peaceful mind. This Ekayana Magga is important, and so that is why it is called Ekayana. Also Ekayano etasati settasa, ekasa ayano ekayano. And Sabba Sattanang Settocha Bhagava Tasma Bhagavatoti Buttang Hoti Kinchapi Hitena Anyepi Ayani Evan Santepi Bhagavato Ayano Tena Upadi Tatta. So it is about the Ekayana. Why it is called Ekayana? Because it is very important. Imasmin eva Dhamma vine pavattati na anyataro buttang hoti. So in this Dhamma Vinaya only, this path exists. Na anyataro, na anyatharati buttang hoti. We don't find it anywhere else. That is also why it is called Ekayana. Interesting definition of there. I think that will be very helpful. So Ekayano Maggo Bhikkave Sattanang Visuddhya. Now we have Sattanang Visuddhya. What is this Visuddhi? Ragadihi Malehi Abhijjaha Visama Lobadihi cha Upakkilesehi Kilitta Chittanang Sattanang Visuddhya. So Raga, the lust, etc. Mala means those defilements, and then Abhijja, that very strong desire, and Visama Lobha, again it's a very toxic greed. So Abhijja, Visama Lobha, etc. All these Raga and Abhijja, Visama Lobha and such other upakilesas, defilement. And from these defilements, Kilitta Chittang Nang Sattanang. So the people or the beings, they have polluted their mind. So in order to clean them, in order to cleanse them, or in order to purify them, this sutta is, this path is important. That is why Sattanang Visuddhya is mentioned here. And then we have Soka Pariddavanang Samatikkamaya, Sokasacha Paridevasacha Samatikkamaya, Pahanaya, and Ayahimaggo Bhavito, Santati Mahamattadinang Vya, Soka Samatikkamaya, Patachara Dinang Vya, Parideva Samatikkamaya. So it is about the Santati Mahamattas, they like the suffering they had, and just like the Patachara, the story of Patachara, and how she was weeping and lamenting, and that is why it is called Parideva. Veer means like that. So they are kind of similes. Right. So dukkha domanassanam attangamaya, and then dukkha is kayika dukkha, that is bodily suffering. And domanasa is chetasika dukkha, chetasika domanasa. And imesan dvinnang attangamaya nirodhayati atto. So in order to get rid of this, to cease this twofold suffering, so the sutta is there, dukkha domanassanam attangamaya. Okay. Right, and then in the sutta we also have Nyayasa Adhigamaya, Dukkha Domanassa Attangamaya, and Nyayasa Adhigamaya. That means for acquiring the true method. So Nyaya is Adhigamati is to acquire or to receive or to attain, and Nyaya is that the knowledge or the method or the true method. And in the Atthakatha it is explained as Nyaya Sadhigamayati, Nyayo Uchati Aryo Attangiko Maggo. So the true knowledge is the Noble Eightfold Path. Tassa Adhigamaya, in order to receive that, in order to attain that, Pattiyati Buddhang Hoti. So Pattiyati Buddhang Hoti. So in order to attain that, that is what we call Nyayasa Adhigamaya here. And then so here ayanghi pubbha bhage lokyo satipatthana maggo bhavito lokutarasa maggassa adhigamaya samvattati. And when we have this first portion is lokyo satipatthana maggo, worldly satipatthana, and path to the foundation of that. And then the one who has developed this, and will also have a chance, opportunity to go to Lokuttara Maggasa, and that is the supramundane path. So that also is important to know here. Lokya Satipatthana and Lokuttara Satipatthana. And Nyaya here is definitely the Aryo Attangiko. When we have Aryo Attangiko, that is the Noble Eightfold Path, the Lokuttara Magga. Nibbana Sachikiriyaya means Tanha Vana Virati Virahitatta Nibbananti. So Tanha and Vana means the craving, the attachment, Virahitatta, the absence of that. Because of that absence, it is called Nibbana. So Ni and Bana, if we break up the word Ni and Bana or Vana, Bana or Vana means attachment or tanha or craving, and Ni is the absence. So the complete absence of the desire or all forms of desire and the attachment or the craving is called Nibbana. Okay, and then also it is said Amata, it becomes immortal, no more death after that. And yes, Ayamaggo Bhavito Anupubbena Nibbana Satchikiriyang Sadeti. When you develop this path, you can gradually go to realize the Nibbana. Okay. And there are a lot of explanations here. And then we have over here, Dukkha Domanassanangata Gamaya and Nyayasa Adigamaya. And then we have Nibbanasa Satchikiriyaya. So Nibbanasa Satchikiriyaya is for the realization of Nibbana, as we explained before. Yang idang chattaro satipatthana. Now there are 4 satipatthanas. Idang means this, and yang idang, or namely, chattaro satipatthana, the 4 satipatthanas. Again, satipatthana, Satipatthana again is mindfulness, or mindfulness, or foundation of mindfulness, we can say. And so without going to directly translate that, we can keep that Pali word as it is. Okay, and so that is about this very, very direct approach to the Buddha. And also we can see here, it's really important to know the Buddha's method. So here Buddha actually addressed the monks directly, and when he addressed the monks, and he starts the teachings right away, and there is no other in between discussions. Completely he goes to the direct path. Ekayano ayam bhikkhave. He addressed monks, and then they said, yes, Venerable Bhante, and then he goes directly to explain the 4 foundations of mindfulness. Really, again, very important. Buddha's teaching, and for some people, for like lay people or something, if they are there, the Buddha would actually go to Dana Katang, Sila Katang, Kamanang Adinavang, Sagga Katang, Kamanang Adinavang, etc. So those Anupubbi Katha would be there for the lay people. But here he is talking directly, he is addressing directly the monks who are practicing. And so the teaching is, he is going directly to the point here. And so the 4 satipatthanas are explained here just like that. And then Katame Chattaro, Ida Bhikkave Bhikkhu Kaye Kayanupasse Viharati. Atapi Sampajano Satima Vinaya Loke Abhijja Domanasang. And then Vedanasu Vedananupasse Viharati. Atapi Sampajano Satima Vinaya Loke Abhijja Domanasang. Chitte Chittanupasse Viharati. Atapi Sampajano Satima Vinaya Loke Abhijja Domanasang. And Dhammesu Dhammanupasse Viharati. Atapi Sampajano Satima Vinaya Loke Abhijja Domanasang. Now the 4 Satipatthanas are there. What are the 4? Here, monks, in regard to the body, a monk abides contemplating the body, diligent, clearly knowing, and mindful, free from desires and discontent. In regard to the world, in regard to feelings, he abides contemplating, feeling, diligent, clearly knowing, and mindful, free from desires and discontent. In regard to the world, in regard to the mind, he abides contemplating the mind, diligent, clearly knowing, and mindful, free from desires and discontent. In regard to the world, in regard to the Dhammas, he abides contemplating Dhammas, diligent, clearly knowing, and mindful, free from desires and discontent in regard to the world. So now we can see how the Buddha is explaining the 4 Satipatthanas. And one is contemplating regarding the body, Kaya Anupassana. And the second one is Vedana Anupassana, feelings, in regard to feelings. And then the third one, in regard to the mind, Chitta Anupassana. And then the fourth one, in regard to the Dhammas, and that is Dhammanupassana. If we go to the break up here, the analysis, Katame chattaro, what are the four? Ida means here. Bhikkhave, he's addressing the monks, O monks. Bhikkhu, a monk who is practicing. So, kaye kaya anupasse viharati. A monk who lives contemplating on the body as body. So here monks in regard to the body, a monk abides contemplating the body. And so the monk also is explained, or the bhikkhu is explained, interpreted in the Tipitaka in many different ways. For example, bhikkhati bhikkhu, because they beg for food, they go for alms round, therefore they are called bhikkhu. Chinna bhinna patadharanti bhikkhu, they also wear clothes that are broken into so many pieces, therefore it is called bhikkhu. And also sansare bhayang ikkhati bhikkhu. The monk is a person who, or the bhikkhu is a person who is scared of the sansara. So the one who is scared of the sansara is also called bhikkhu, and therefore that person will try to get rid of the sansara. So kaya in the body, kaya anupasse vihati, he will contemplate on the body. Let's see how it is explained here in the Atthakathas. Okay, so you can say here bhikkhu, for example. Bhikkhuti patipatti patipatti sampadaka puggala nidassana metang. Okay. I just want to see if we have anything special. Bhikkhuti aha. Settatapana patipattiya bhikkhu bhava dasanatato bhikkhu. Okay, they have great, wonderful patipatti or practice. And Bhagavatoti anusasaning sampatichanne subhikkhu setho. So when the monk is he is practicing the teachings of the Buddha, he becomes a noble one, a great one. And sabba papakaraya, sabbapakaraya, anusasaniya, bhajana bhavato, that means he will also listen to all the teachings, overall teaching. Tasma setthatta bhikkhutiya. Therefore, he has become attained noble stage. Therefore, he is also called bhikkhu. And so, and also here, raga gamana disu rajaghanena sesa parisavya. It's not important. Okay, so I don't find that particular definition here that I found before, but we do have in other places. So kaya here means kaya kaya anupasse. Kaya here means rupa kaya. Rupa kaya means either anga pachanganam kesadinancha dhammanam samuttanena samuhattena hatti kaya ratha kaya dayo via kayoti adipeto. See, anga pachangadi means the bodily different parts of the body. Kesadi nancha. Kesadi means the hair and all the other different parts of the in Dvattin Sakara, for example, those 32 parts of the body are mentioned: Kesa, Loma, Naka, Danta, Tacho, etc. So all these parts and sub particles of the body, and the body that is that consists of this rupa kaya, or this form, or this material body that consists of all these things are called kaya. And evam kuchitanam ayatena. So kuchita means also it is to be not really something that should be accepted, but to be refused or rejected, something that is not really in a good sense. So the body is subject to decay, and therefore also the kaya, all these body parts, for example, kesalo, mana, kadanta, chato, if we contemplate all these body particles, we will also see how Parama Jeguchanam, it is really very, very repulsive, is that nature of the body. Tatrayang vachanato ayatoti. Okay, so that is about the kaya. So kaya anupassi viharati. Right, so and after that we will go to Atapi sampajano satima. So atapi means diligent, and sampajano is clearly knowing, and satima is mindful. I want to actually, these three words themselves are good enough for a long talk, because they have so many details in the suttas. But just to know, these three qualities are really important. These are kind of requirements for a practicing monk who want to contemplate on these four Satipatthanas. And Atapi, he or she has to really work hard. And then Sampajano, he or she has to be clearly knowing. And also Satima, very strong mindfulness should be there. And then Vinaya Loke Abhijja Domanasang, such a person only can get rid of the Abhijja and the Domanasa, desires and discontent in regard to the world. In the world, and Vinaya they can abandon, or they can be free from. Vedanasu Vedananupassi viharati. So now this one is Kaya Kayanupassi, and then Vedanasu Vedananupassi viharati. So that particular person who is diligent, clearly knowing and mindful, can also live in or get rid of this in regard to feelings. He abides contemplating feelings. So Viharati abides, Vedananupassi contemplating feelings, and Vedanasu in feelings. And then Atapi Sampajano Satima, you can see the same thing here. And Vinaya Loke Abhijja Domanasang, they also can get rid of the Abhijja and Domanasa. That means, yes, Abhijja and Domanasa, that means desires and discontent. They can also be free from desires and discontent. So Abhijja is kind of more stronger version of Lobha, Abhijja. And then Chitte Chittanupasse Viharati, then again Atapi Sampajano Satima is there. So diligent, clearly knowing and mindful. Chitte Chittanupasse Viharati, in regard to the mind, he abides contemplating the mind. Chittanupasse, contemplating the mind. And Chitte, in the mind. And Viharati, abides. And Vinaya Loke Abhijja Domanasam, that person also will be free from Abhijja and Domanasa. And then Dhammesu Dhammanupasse Viharati, same thing. Atapi Sampajano, diligent, clearly knowing and mindful. And Dhammesu Dhammanupasse Viharati, in regard to the Dhamma, he abides contemplating the Dhammas. So Dhamma again is another term that we need to discuss more about the mental factors. And that person can also get rid of the abhijja, and domanassa. So now you know the entire 4 Satipatthana is there. This particular paragraph gives the very essence of the entire Satipatthana Sutta. Kaya Kayanupassi, that is here. Yes, Kaya Kayanupassi, in regard to the body, abides contemplating the body, and then Vedanasu Vedananupassi, in regard to feelings, he abides contemplating the feelings, and then Chitte Chittanupassi, in regard to the mind, he abides contemplating the mind, and then Dhammesu Dhammanupassi Virati, in regard to the Dhammas, he abides contemplating the Dhammas. So this is really, again, very important junction. That and after that, it will be all the details of the Buddha says how a monk will practice Kaya Anupassana. Let's see if maybe we can start with that, and at least a little bit, or else we can also go to the Atthakatha and see how they explain these 4. If we have, I know it will be a lot of work if we go to those 4 in much more detail, because later on we will definitely find more. I think Atapi, as I explained those 3 words, Atapi, Sampajano, Satima, these 3 words are really important. Tisu bhavesu kilese atapetiti atapo. So Tisu bhava means Kama bhava, Sugati bhava, and Dugati bhava. In these 3 bhavas, kilese, defilements, atapeti, they burn the defilements. Therefore, the atapa is there. So the one who actually practices the meditation, this is again very interesting. One who practices meditation can really burn the defilements. So viryasa etannama. So diligent here means virya. Make a lot of efforts. And so the one who wants to practice meditation, that person have to really make a lot of hard work. It doesn't otherwise make much sense if you don't want to work hard. It will be very, always be very difficult, and always be very challenging if you want to practice meditation. You have to sit silently, you have to sit longer time. It's never be easy. So atapo asa atiti atapi. And so this atapi word is really important. Diligent. Sampajanoti sampajanya sankhatena jnanena samannagato. Sampajanya sankhatena jnanena samannagato. That person has to know things very clearly. That is why clearly knowing was mentioned here. Clearly knowing. So that person has to know things very clearly. It's also very important. So we need to know the Dhamma. We need to know our practice, meditation, object, whatever. Then we are qualified. These are the 3 qualifications, remember, if you want to practice the meditation. Atapi, Sampajano, and then the last one is Satima. Sati. Kaya parigahikaya satya samannagato. So this sati, or the mindfulness, will be observing or exploring the entire body. Ayampana yasma satya arammanang parigahitva panyaya anupassati. So when you take the arammana, or the object, meditation object, having taken the meditation object, panyaya anupassati, you also have to be, you have to also contemplate through your own wisdom. And sati virahitasa anupassana nama. If you don't have sati, if you don't have mindfulness, then it becomes anupassana. You cannot na sati virahitasa. That means consists of endowed with mindfulness. Therefore, he is called anupassana. And satincha koham bhikkhave sabbatikang vadami kaya kaya anupassi ettavata. So again, all the details about the sati. Sati again is a really important word, and I think later we will discuss more about that, because in the sutta itself we have a lot of meanings about that. Maybe abhijja domanassa. Let's say if we have loka is also there, lujjati palujjati iti loko. It is said lujjana palujjana tena loko. So that means the loka or the world is subject to break. It is not permanent. It is subject to break. And yes, and Atapi sampajano satima vinaya loke abhijja domanasang. Do we have the word here, abhijja? No. So abhijja is a strong desire or attachment. Abhijja ghanena kamachando. So yasma pana itta abhijja ghanena kamachando, kamachanda. So the lustful desire, that's again a very strong defilements that we have. In Mahanidesa Pali, for example, we have this word explained, and the kama is explained as kilesa kama and vattu kama. And there we also have, under the kilesa kama, we have, under vattu kama we have 44 categories, and here in kilesa kama, or the defilements, mental karmas, under that we also have kama chanda. So another mental category that we have. Domanassa gahanena vyapado sanghang gacchati. So when you have domanassa, it can also lead us to vyapada or ill will. The anger is related to domanassa. Domanassa means mental suffering, mental whatever. When you have, it can also lead us to ill will. Nivarana pariyapanna bala vaddhanadvaya dassanena nivarana pahanang muttang hoti iti veditabhang. So when you are working on this, we can also see how these 5 hindrances are addressed here. When we have karma, when we have abhijja, all these things are also related to the 5 hindrances. Okay, I think with that it is better to stop for today, because the other topic that we are going to start will be the discussion about what is kaya anupassi. So with that, we conclude today, and thank you everyone for joining us. If you have any question, you are welcome to just text us here in the comment section, so that we can always have more discussion there. And thank you again for joining us, and for everyone. I can see Arpana Randir, and thank you everyone for others who also signed in and watched this, and hopefully you learned something more, and hopefully this will also be somewhat helpful. And we will see you more to discuss more about this sutta the same time next Sunday. With that, we conclude. Thank you so much for joining, and may you all be well, happy, healthy, safe wherever you are. May the Buddha Dhamma Sangha bless you, help you, protect you, and guide you towards the right path. Sabbitiyo vivajjanto sabbaroko vinassato mate bhavattu antarayo sukhe digghayuko bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.